Really, there are ways to help families and older adults develop optimal quality of life plans. Discussions must happen, and they must happen frequently. And even if you have them at 65 or 74, but they must happen again and again. Because times change. How you are at 70 might not be the same way you are at 74. And so really frequent, again, calm discussions must happen.
I'm going to turn to you, Harriet, in particular. Could you explain what is the OHEL Lifetime Care Foundation and what does it provide?
Sure. Thank you very much. Really, the Lifetime Care Foundation started in June 1996, and its original reason for starting was to help to help the older person who was worried about their adult children who might have a disability, whether it be psychiatric or developmental disability. Mm-hmm. It was ways for them to make sure that they would be taken care of, preserving some assets for their adult children, and still maintain their entitlements, maintain the Medicaid benefits that they so needed. So that was one component. It's evolved over time, and we still do that. Mm-hmm. But another part of what we do and our main focus, which is not just the asset trust for a pooled income trust, but also pooled trust, but our income trust. So if someone has more income than Medicaid allows, as we heard from Pinny and Sarah, and you're saying $879, wait a second, my rent is $1,200 a month. I'm already in the negative numbers. Right. And I can't tell you as a social worker how many calls I've gotten where people said, I really need home care, but I can't pay my rent if I have Medicaid because I can't live on $879 a month.
Okay.
So what does a pooled income trust allow? It allows you to put your excess income, anything, let's say, above, just for round numbers, the $900. It goes into this pooled income trust, which is managed by a not-for-profit organization, and that is an important component. And we really are a not-for-profit organization. We've been around for 50 years, helping as a social service agency, which is also another unique part of our trust. So you put your excess income into the trust. You put that excess income into the trust, meaning it's not yours. Anything above $900 doesn't exist for you. It's in this trust. Mm-hmm. But what this Medicaid legal loophole allows is that you then are able to submit your bills. And we are now able to pay your rent, pay your food. Let's say you needed something for your home, a repair. And again, it's all about you. This is one time to think about you. A Medicaid pooled income trust is not to help your grandchildren. It's not to help your children. It is to help the person who is part of the trust to be able to live the life that they really want, to have the quality of life, and to be able to be comfortable, which will allow them, because they have Medicaid, to now have an aid in their home or possibly be in an assisted living or possibly getting the medication that they might need if they're getting a very high, let's say they have an illness, unfortunately, that has a very high cost. Mm-hmm. It's not covered by, as we said earlier, Medicare and other kinds of Medigap insurances. So with this pooled income trust, you are assigned by us a customer service person. We really pride ourselves that if you're putting in your money, you get assigned one person, that person who will get to know you, who will help you with your bills, who will talk to you for those minutes when you say, my rent keeps on going up, I'm not feeling well, getting to know even a little bit about your family. So that is something that is very important. And within that segment, as part of the Lifetime Care Foundation, we do provide case management services. Sometimes families and the older adult person needs more than just themselves to help them or good friends. You need the professional to come in and give you guidance to navigate, not just the legal piece, but also what are the social service pieces? How do you find adequate home care? What about nursing homes? What about adult day programs? And sometimes children are so busy working. I mean, they can't do it alone. Right. So that Lifetime Care is able to provide both free case management for clients as well as affordable fee-based. Again, each person is an individual, and we decide that. And as a last piece, we are part of OHEL Family Children's Home and Services. We're a large social service agency. So you're able, as part of the trust, to access other kinds of services almost in a seamless fashion because you're part of a larger family.
Harriet, I'm going to turn to you for this one. This one is very uncomfortable, all right? Home care versus a nursing home facility, putting your loved one in a facility is just not easy. How does the Lifetime Care Foundation ease the process?
Okay, so one of the ways that we ease the process, and that is really a great question, is that we are trained professionals. We're here to help you. I always say, no one wakes up one morning and says, I think today I'm going to a nursing home. It's usually been something that's been coming forth because the person is getting older and getting frailer. One thing that's helpful is that if somebody knows you through the home care process, and again, if you have a trust, that's sometimes helpful where we're helping you with your home care. And as we see that your needs have changed, you might need a nursing home. You might need a higher level of care, or you might not realize that you might need a higher level of care and you can still get it in the community, in home, and still be safe. Again, another important part of Medicaid planning, and then if you need a pooled trust. So how can Lifetime Care help you in navigating the possibility of nursing home care? Is that you could use a case manager. You can use a social worker. Sometimes we'll hook you up with someone who's familiar with what should you look for and help guide you. Because just because it was good for your neighbor to go to one nursing home, it doesn't mean you are the same. As Pinny said, every single person is unique. And our case managers will evaluate and will look at each person, but also each family, each situation. Are your children living close by? Are they able to visit? Do you have friends that are more important than family? This is a new phenomena that is happening in New York City, where friends become more important than family as family members move far away. So that's another show to put on. So this is something that we're able to help and guide. Sometimes we'll go with the family person. Sometimes we'll do the footwork. Sometimes we'll just help you to ask the questions. Sometimes you need another ear, and sometimes you just need a hug. We'll be there for you.
Special.
Can I chime in here?
Yeah, please.
You asked what the benefits of home care versus nursing home care. Sometimes it's not an option. If a client is in a position where they really cannot receive and be treated by home care, then it's not an option for them to stay home, even though the family might think that it would be the best for them.
Right.
Then nursing care is the first to go into a nursing home. Another consideration is a 5-year look back. Oftentimes, even though nursing home would be a better option for the family, they can't afford to risk losing all of their assets by placing them into the nursing home. So they would be, home care would be a better option for them.
And that's when you really need to work together with the elder care lawyer, with the person who's doing the Medicaid planning to see what options are available. I really call this the recipe approach. I've been doing this for a long time, too long actually. And I tell people that it, just like a recipe, has many components in order to make it taste good. In order to help a parent, an older adult, or even yourself, you need many components, and those little spices is really what makes it a successful recipe.
Sarah, I'm going to turn to you for this one. Medicaid, we touched on this earlier, but just an important point that needs to be reiterated, readdressed. Medicaid has strict policies regarding asset limits. Now, is there any way that someone can retain their assets for their family, especially can they protect their home, which in many cases is the main asset?
Absolutely. Great question. The short answer is yes. An individual can retain their assets, place them into trust. Trusts are protective. They are kind of acting like a corporation. The trust that we create, in a nutshell, for Medicaid protection are irrevocable trusts. It's important to recognize they are not revocable trusts. So when transferring the assets into an irrevocable trust, there is an element of loss of control, which is the way that you get the Medicaid protection. Granted, most people want to protect their main asset, which is their home. And it is critical for them to realize that if they don't protect their asset, then they're going to be losing it because Medicaid will not allow them to keep it, and Medicaid will not allow them to qualify for the benefits. And in the event that they end up needing to get Medicaid, Medicaid can claw it back upon their death and take it as contribution. So it's critical to do proper planning. It's critical to know that there are available options for every single person in planning appropriately.
The time flies. I say it all the time, but that's what happens on the show with such great guests and such great content. I'm going to turn to each of you. I'm going to turn to Harriet first. What would you say is the key lesson that people should take away from this interview?
Okay, so to do this on one foot and in 1 minute, but the key point is really there are ways to help families and older adults develop optimal quality of life plans. Discussions must happen, and they must happen frequently, and even if you have them at 65 or 74, but they must happen again and again, because times change. How you are at 70 might not be the same way you are at 74, and so really frequent, again, calm discussions must happen. And to remember, there are professionals here to help navigate these waters. We need to work together. Caregiving is hard. In Hebrew, the word honoring your parents is kibud. And what is the root of the word? Heavy. It's not so easy to be a caregiver. Children and families need to know we're out there. But knowledge is key. Ignorance is not bliss, and ignorance does not help. Collaboration is essential, and you're not alone. We're here to help you. We're here to guide you and hold your hand.
And how could they get in touch with you?
The best way to reach us is by phone. Phones are great, 718-686-3170. And if you ask for Harriet Blank or anyone in the Lifetime Care Foundation, we'll be happy to assist you.
And is there a website?
OHELfamily.org, OHELfamily.org. I'm
going to now turn to Sarah again. What key takeaway? And I know it's unfair to do this in 60 seconds, but what would you say is the main takeaway of tonight's show?
I think it's important for people to recognize what a wonderful program New York's Medicaid long-term care program is. There's great opportunities for everybody, and speaking with the right individuals and professionals can allow you the opportunity to benefit from the program itself. Having the critical documents that we discussed earlier are important. I can't stress enough the importance of having just a simple power of attorney. As Pinny explained, the cost of a power of attorney versus a guardianship, it's huge gap. Another key important point is having proper counsel. Going to an elder law attorney who specializes in the area of elder law, who is knowledgeable of the various fields that deal with the elderly individuals, be it real estate, be it Medicaid, be it trust and estates, navigating through the new rules and regulations that are constantly being applied by Medicaid is so important and extremely important for the client, for the parents, and everybody.
Sarah, how can people get in touch with you?
My direct number is 212-419-0118. Again, 212-419-0118. My website is moskowitzlegalgroup.com. moskowitzlegalgroup.com. Thank you very much for having us.
Thank you. And Pinny, your final takeaway.
Well, just very quickly and concisely, talk to your parents. Please talk to them about this important issue. Put them on a path towards protection. If you bring them to me, for example, I'll make sure that at my consultation, I will convince them to do a power of attorney and have a power of attorney signed. Sometimes just on my consultation, some of the smallest things that I think are small are so huge to people, like I will convince them about purchasing a proper Medicare supplement, which is so important. Things like just having the right documents properly prepared, like a Social Security card, because the new Medicare cards have removed the Social Security number, and people have long ago thrown away their Social Security cards. And the most important thing is, do not take advice from someone who has not submitted many different types of applications into Medicaid. Medicaid will put a claim on an estate and cause lots of aggravation if not protected properly. That is so key and important.
Pinny, how can people get in touch with you?
718-943-3700, 718-943-3700, and at SeniorCareInUSA.com.
I love the honor of interviewing C-level executives and sharing their great advice and perspective on Mind Your Business. I'd love to get your feedback. Post it in the comments below and subscribe. You'll never miss an edition of Mind Your Business.